We are reading week 25, The Effects of the Gold Rush. The title of this article is The Effects of the Gold Rush. Not sure where this is in the newspaper, but go ahead and find it. The Effects of the Gold Rush. The gold rush started in 1848 when gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill. The news began to spread across the nation. Thousands of people who had struggled to make a living left their homes. They hoped to become rich by finding gold. More than 80,000 people came to California in 1849. People who already lived in California were even more excited. Businesses closed as owners and workers left in search for gold. This made it almost impossible to find workers for the businesses that stayed. Labor shortage, that means worker shortage. The city of San Francisco was close to the gold fields. The city was only about 130 miles from Sutter's Mill. A lot of people from San Francisco left as soon as they heard about the gold in them thar hills. So many workers left the city that there was a major labor shortage. A labor shortage happens when there aren't enough workers to do all of the jobs that need to be done. The city's biggest newspaper, the Californian, wrote a story that gold had been discovered. 2 weeks later, all of the newspaper's workers had quit in order to mine for gold. A man named Daniel Noer arrived in San Francisco in 1849, and this is what he wrote in his journal when he reached the city. At the time of my arrival, on August 18th, 1849, there were several hundreds of ships anchored in the bay, deserted by their crews who had gone to the mines. They could make more in one day there than their wages would amount in a month on the vessel. I took a walk out. I met what looked like a laboring man. I asked him how long he had been there. He said 2 months. I said to him, and not gone up to the mines yet? He said to me he was in no particular hurry. He said he had a rowboat and made $20 a day rowing passengers to and from the vessels. There was no dock then. He had his boy with him, and they gathered mussels and sold them. Between the two they averaged $30 per day, which explained why he was in no hurry to go gold digging. Not everyone who looked for gold became rich. Immigrants who were not able to find gold quickly often gave up and found jobs in the nearby cities. The shortage made it easy for people to find work in restaurants, hotels, and stores. Immigrants also found jobs on farms and construction sites. American Indians. The labor shortage also made life harder for California's American Indians. California leaders passed the Act for the Government and Protection of Indians in 1850, also known as the Indian Indenture Act of 1850. The law specifically put American Indians at risk by any white person declaring they were breaking the law. The American Indian would then be forced into labor for 4 months. Children were not exempt or excluded, they were included. The result of this law destroyed American Indian families and communities. The law was repealed in 1866, but the American Indian communities were ruined. What is Sutter's Mill? Is it the place where gold was discovered that started the gold rush? Is it a wheat mill in Iowa where the first traces of gold were found? Is Sutter's Mill a mill in California that became famous for making millions in the farming industry? Is Sutter's Mill the last gold mine ever used in California? I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. If you said the place where gold was discovered that started the gold rush, you are correct. What is a labor shortage? Is it when there's not enough services, not enough jobs, not enough workers to do all the jobs that need to be done, or not enough goods? I'll give you about 10 seconds. If you said not enough workers to get all the jobs done that need to get done, you are correct. Why did the gold rush make life harder for the California American Indians? The American Indians were not allowed to buy gold. The American Indians could not find jobs. The American Indians could be sold and forced to work for no pay because there was a labor shortage. Or none of the above. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. If you said none of the above, you are incorrect. If you said the American Indians could be sold and forced to work for no pay because there was a labor shortage, you are correct.